This video is sponsored by Ground News.
If there is infinite time, why not infinite possibilities?
Let's give it infinite amounts of time. Would you get Ferrari? No.
You see, this is what happens when we have Muslim hosts pitch an atheist question.
We are Muslim.
We get a circle jerk preaching to the choir, wherein the viewer's confidence is softly patted on the back, but we receive nothing of actual substance. Ali Dawah, a Muslim apologist and YouTuber, was invited onto Towards Eternity to discuss the concept of infinite time and possibilities. The host posed the question,
If there is infinite time, why not infinite possibilities?
which is a query or objection that emerges in response to various fine-tuning arguments. For instance, a theist will present something which they're certain is unlikely to have occurred by mere chance, such as the cosmological constant or the precise conditions that were needed for life to have emerged, and then reason that, due to the unlikelihood of these things happening by random chance, we're justified in presuming an intelligent designer who wanted it to happen. Atheists, non-believers, skeptics typically counter this in two ways. First, by emphasizing that we don't actually know the probabilities of these cosmic parameters. Indeed, theists are merely assuming the probabilities. For all we know, these conditions could have been highly likely, or even guaranteed. Indeed, it turns out that one can't get the precise probabilities of space emerging from an armchair. Crazy, right? And this is where the conversation tends to get stuck. The Dawah defenders insist that we have the probabilities, whereas the skeptics say, bro, stop being so confident on things you obviously know nothing about. It's cringe.
Let's give it infinite amounts of time.
Stop it.
Would you get Ferrari?
Get some help.
However, sometimes a second objection arises. The skeptic will tentatively grant the low probability, but emphasize that given enough attempts or time, even vastly improbable outcomes are near guaranteed. The chances of you rolling a 20-sided dice and getting a 20 is low. But if you were to re-roll the dice 1 billion times, you'd almost be guaranteed to get a 20. The same principle applies to flipping a coin and getting heads 10 times in a row. While this is very unlikely, if you keep flipping that coin for eternity, you'd eventually hit the streak. Or consider the lottery. Your odds of winning are minuscule. But if you could play every day for millions of years, you'd pretty much be guaranteed to eventually win. Case in point, when possibility meets the infinite, even the most improbable events become virtually certain. So, suppose the conditions for life to emerge were indeed 1 in a billion. Well, if the universe has been in a state of flux for billions of years, essentially re-rolling the cosmic dice 1 billion times over, it's actually not that unlikely that those life-friendly conditions will come up at some point. Now, since we're about to dive into the colossal weeds of misinformation, this is a fitting time to discuss how we can navigate biased reporting and get a balanced view of things. Let's take a look at the news. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling and billionaire businessman Elon Musk are among the individuals named in the cyberbullying lawsuit filed by Olympic boxer champion Amani Khalif. That is, at least, according to the Inquirer. Now, since we're talking about misinformation, this is a perfect time to discuss the handy toolbar at the top. Ground News's browser extension. Just like their website and app, it quickly provides me with crucial details about news sources I'm viewing, such as its bias and how often different sides of the political spectrum are covering the story. In this instance, with the centre being the least represented. By selecting full coverage, I can see that Ground News has reviewed 182 sources, allowing them to deliver the most essential information in a clear and concise manner. As I scroll down, I can see clearly which outlets are covering the story, the angle they're taking, and how reliable their facts are. Ground News offers this level of analysis for all breaking news, allowing me to view the same story from multiple perspectives and to gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation. I honestly cannot recommend Ground News enough. Head over to ground.news/rationality to grab an incredible 40% discount. Yes, 40% off, just for my viewers. Facts matter, and I'm committed to bringing them to light. Thanks.
Let's give it infinite amounts of time. Would you get Ferrari? No.
Alright, with the context in place, let's see Ali's response, identifying each claim as we go along.
This glass is empty. Yes? Empty. If we said infinite time, because the argument here is you give it infinite amount of time, anything can happen.
Here, Ali has done his best to restate the argument, which he conveys as the idea that given infinite time, anything can happen. Let's put that aside and come back to it.
This is a fallacy, because to make the properties, argument's sake, if I like a chocolate cheesecake, not a chocolate cheesecake, let's talk Turkish, yeah? A nice sütlaç, yeah? If I want to have a sütlaç in here, and I say, let's give it infinite time, would I ever get a sütlaç?
A fallacy, huh?
This is a fallacy.
Okay, let's hear it. Why is this objection fallacious? Do tell us, Ali.
And by the way, I like my sütlaç burnt on the top. Let's be specific. Would we ever get it? No, because the equation of time is irrelevant. If the components to make a sütlaç, the way I like it, is not in there, you will never get a sütlaç. It's as simple as that. Time is irrelevant. What's time got to do with it?
Loud and clear. Time is irrelevant in the creation of specific things if the necessary components are not present.
Let's give it infinite amounts of time. Would you get Ferrari? No. Give it infinite time. Would you get a universe? No. Because the properties to make a universe or a Ferrari or my sütlaç, which is more important, is not in there. So if it's not in there, you will never get it. But hopefully after this, I will get a sütlaç. Okay.
Well, that's simple enough, right? As Ali emphasizes, infinite time alone cannot produce specific objects or outcomes without the necessary components. Put another way, if what's required for something to occur is not there, well, it simply follows that it will never occur, because the very components that are required are not there, regardless of any amount of time given. And that's it. That's the totality of his response. But that's all that's needed, no? I mean, this doesn't seem like a controversial claim, right? If it's not possible for something to happen, then, obviously, it's not going to happen no matter what.
No, because the properties to make a universe or a Ferrari or my sütlaç, which is more important, is not in there. So if it's not in there, you will never get it.
If the conditions to have a sütlaç, a Ferrari, or a universe in Ali's glass are not possible, then no matter how much time elapses, no matter how many times we re-roll the dice, it simply is never going to happen. So, checkmate, atheists. Good game. Now, go get me a dessert. But not so fast. As is often the case with the Dawah boys, the devil is in the details.
If we said infinite time, because the argument here is, you give it infinite amount of time, anything can happen. This is a fallacy.
The irony is that while accusing the objection of being fallacious, Ali and the hosts are committing a fallacy. Indeed, the whole bit about the sütlaç just popping up out of thin air into his empty glass is a straw man. Why? Because it misrepresents the objection entirely. Remember, the point is, given enough time, improbable events are likely to eventually happen. But notice how Ali presents the objection.
No, because the properties to make a universe or a Ferrari or my sütlaç, which is more important, is not in there. So if it's not in there, you will never get it.
Do you see the problem? The sleight of hand? Ali is strawmanning the objection to be, given enough time, enough rolls of the dice, anything will occur.
Anything can happen.
When in reality, the actual objection is, given enough time, enough rolls of the dice, anything possible is likely to occur. The difference here should be obvious to everyone, and yet neither the hosts nor the audience recognize the monumental strawman. Indeed, they're all confident, acting as if they've easily dispensed of this critical objection, and it's cringe. Sadly, the vast majority of Islamic apologetics, it's just like this. It's just cringe. It's low fruit. It's pridefully destitute of logic, incapable of embarrassment.
We are Muslim.
To really hammer home the issue here, let's take an instance of where this objection is wielded and then apply Ali's amazing answer. A theist might say, the odds of life existing are 1 in a billion. Again, we're just going to grant this for the sake of argument, as if we somehow know that this number is accurate. We don't, but whatever. A skeptic might reply, sure, but if the universe has been rolling the dice billions of times, those odds aren't so bad anymore. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising at all for it to occur at least once. And then Ali jumps in with his empty glass, saying, but if something has a 0 chance of happening, it will never happen.
Time is irrelevant.
Well, yeah, Ali, we know that, but that's not what anyone was arguing. Well done, you've burnt a straw man to the ground. Just amazing. Just look at the audience, look at the hosts. They're all very, very impressed with you.
That's really impressive. Whoa.
We are Muslim.
Whoa, just... Whoa.
And the reason why the philosophers are not impressed with you is they just don't like Islam or something, right? It's a big conspiracy. I mentioned earlier that we have the irony of Ali accusing the skeptic of being fallacious while he himself commits a fallacy. But the irony gets even funnier.
This is a fallacy.
If the chances of life were 0, as Ali's logic suggests, we wouldn't even be having this conversation about fine-tuning, would we? You actually need the low probability, the possibility, to infer intelligent design as a candidate for explanation. If you don't have a low probability, you don't have an argument at all.
No, this isn't an argument. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. It's just contradiction. No, it isn't.
So, to defuse the objection, Ali has discarded the entire argument, and yet the hosts and the Muslims in the audience are oblivious. It's like watching someone saw off the branch they're sitting on and then celebrating as they hit the ground. Anyhow, bit of a short one on this one, but I did think that this deserves some attention because, as is often the case with apologetics, with Dawah in general, it's all about confidence, it's all about presentation, it's never about content, it's never about substance. It's sad, but welcome to Counter-Apologetics. This is just the way that the vast majority of it is. Anyhow, as always, thank you kindly for the view. If you'd like to see more Counter-Dawah content, please be sure to like, it really does help, subscribe, and if you can, please support the channel. Our ability to make more content just like this is directly funded by you. The more we can get, the bigger our team can grow. It's that simple. Thanks.